It's Gypsy Man, and today we're going to talk about SIG and do the comparison between the SIG feel and the Glocks. But we're not going to talk about what's in the news today, but we might touch on a few things while we talk about these two guns. So let's put that aside and bring out the guns that we're going to be introducing today, which is the SIG P226 Mark 25, the SIG 365 Vector or carry choice. This is a full-size gun, and I'm going to compare them to the Staccato, of course, and I'm talking about how it feels as far as grip angle, and we're going to talk about how it feels compared to the Glock. So we're going to get all these in, and we're going to do it, not too much detail, because I mean, you know what a Glock is. You're familiar with the Staccato. I've talked about that a lot. And we're going to go into these SIGs. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a SIG guy. And it's due to basically coming from a Glock, just the way the gun feels to me. And I'm one that appreciates the grip angle on the Glocks. But we're still going to give appreciation to the guns that actually work for SIG and aren't causing any hazards to our health. This is a slimline gun. That's what it feels like in my hand, the 365. It's a carry option, has a very tiny grip. And you know I don't like tiny grip guns. It's just kind of like a mini grip. The mag well is exactly the same size as the mag. It has a slight flare to it, but it really just fits the mag. But it does have a little flare to it, a little flare that will get the magazine into the gun quicker. But it is a slimline gun, so I don't like it for myself. But just for the comparison, I mean, SIGs to me, and the gun's empty. SIGs to me, from when I put my grip onto a SIG, it feels like my hand is going under the gun, and I'm used to the gun. Even the Staccato gives you more of a cant to it, and the Glock gives you more of a cant, and that's what I'm used to. So that's why the Staccatos and the Glocks feel good to me. Now, the SIGs always felt like my hand was going underneath the gun. As far as pointing the gun, I really have to push forward for me to get the same sight picture that I would with the Staccato and the Glock. So me personally, I don't like that, but some people love these SIGs. The 365 and the 226 is a cult favorite, right? This was the gun that the Navy SEAL preferred for years. Now, this is a full-size gun. The 226, the grip, the meatiness of the grip, the weight of the gun, admittedly, it feels good. It feels more like the Staccato to me. It feels like a 2011, but the Staccato has more of a cant to it. The degree is different, so I like that. Some people may like to feel like the grip is more underneath the gun. Now, this gun feels very balanced. I like that it's a steel framed gun. I like the weight of the steel frame guns. This one has a light on it, of course. When I put my grip on there, it feels like a 2011 to me, to be honest with you. Like the 226 feels like a 2011 in my hand. This bump out right here, you can see that it's very meaty up top in the grip. The grip is meaty, but it's very meaty up top. That actually works very good because the slide release is at an angle, and you can easily release the slide on the gun because it's like a ledge right there that you just press down on, and it naturally just goes forward, and you definitely can't miss that. You will not miss that. It lets you know that you can't even slide off of it, because when you hit the slide release, you have to press down on the slide release because of that meatiness up here. It feels like the 2011 to me, to be honest with you. When I hold it in my grip, it feels like a 2011. Now the 2011 They both feel good. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm not a SIG guy, but they both feel very similar to each other. The difference for this gun, what I noticed was there is no flared magwell. Okay, it's this exact size of the magazine. You're not going to speed reload this gun accurately every time. It doesn't feed itself into it like it would, say, a Glock. Even this is a Gen 5. Even without this magwell, it still has more of a flare that you, and the Gen 4s, that you can get the magazine in there easily. The Staccato as well. They both have a little flaredness to it. It wants you to feed a magazine into the gun. Now with this 226, the 226, there's a hang up. There's definitely a definite hang up, and I can reload very quickly. And I can feel there's a hang up, there's resistance. The mags are matte finished, so they don't just glide into the gun. They kind of, there's some friction there, and then it goes into the gun. So this is like one of those guns that you wouldn't take this out for competition. This was for the military. The SEALs loved it, and I can say that it was more than likely because of the feel. Now the trigger feels, I mean, the trigger feels good, to be honest with you. This is a double action gun, okay? That if you do it in double action, that initial pull is very heavy. Probably, it feels like it's like 10 plus pounds. So I can definitely see this in a pre-cocked situation if they were going into battle, which probably wouldn't be safe, but there is no trigger safety. There is no manual safety. It does have a decocker. You know, it's nice to have decocker. It's cool. The first pull is very heavy. It's very heavy. My gauge isn't even going to read that. But that in single action, it's pretty good. I would say, you know, let's test it. Let's test it. Let's go ahead and take the gauge out in single action and see what it does. I'm guessing that it is, I'm gonna say 6 pounds. I 6 pounds. I don't know how I got it on the first try, and for my guesstimate, but it just felt heavier than 4 pounds. I'm very familiar with 4 or 5 pounds. It's between 6 and 5 pounds for the trigger. Let's try one more, and we'll get an average because we're about an average of 5.5 right now. So I'm going to say that is about a 5.5 pound trigger. So not a bad guess. I'm not going to lie to you. This gun, I'm sure it feels good when you shoot it. The angle again for the grip module, it's not even a module, but the grip itself, it doesn't point like the Staccato or a Glock. It's still a SIG point. The handle feels like you're underneath the gun when you point it. Some people like that. I'm just used to having more angle on it. I can see that this gun, because of its weight, because of the steel frame, I'm sure that it's going to feel really good when you shoot it. I can tell by the feel of the grip module. I have a very good sense of how guns feel. I believe that this gun is definitely something that I think that it's going to feel pretty good when you shoot it. I can feel it. I see why they like the way this gun, but I also see why they went to some other models of firearms from this gun, because it does feel older than what we have today. It is definitely designed, but you know, they have upgrades for this. They have the Legions and things like that from SIG. We're going to stay away from the 320s, but you know, the other models of the SIG have seemed to have been a very reliable firearm for them. So just my comparison real quick between the two SIGs and what it will feel like if you are coming from a Glock, and me just going back to my Glock, it feels more natural to me. Going to the Staccato, it feels less natural than the Glock, but it still feels better than the grip angle that is on the SIG for me. Now, some people may like that. Like I said, I feel like this gun, this has a light on it. I don't know where I'm going to put my thumb on here. I like to have my thumb on the frame of the gun. I'm not one that can shoot. I can, but I won't because I don't feel comfortable with it. But I don't really shoot with my hand away from the frame. The weapon light is too low on this gun with this model weapon light for me to put my finger on there comfortably, so I wouldn't do that. It would probably be on top of the frame of the light when I shoot this gun. I just feel like I really have to just really point down when I shoot this gun. Some people say it shoots more natural, but for me, like I said a few times, I like the angles on the Glocks and the Staccatos, the 2011s. So I wanted to make this quick video. I don't like slimline 365. You can keep that. This gun I wouldn't mind shooting, and I will be shooting it. And you know, I probably won't talk about it, but for right now, just the way it feels in hand. If you're a collector, or if you already have this gun, I see you. I see why you like it. I could definitely see why you like it. It feels good. So, honest opinion, yeah, pricey gun. But if you're a collector, I don't know what you're going to use it for other than collecting. You may shoot it a few times, but if you already know the workhorses. You already know the 2011s and Staccatos. The Staccatos and the Glocks are workhorses. So, just a quick video.